Okay, so I'm Alison Harden, and I have been in recovery from addiction here in Denver for quite a while.
That's perfect. Let's do that one more time just in case.
So I'm Alison Harden, and I have been in recovery from addiction here in Denver for quite a while.
Perfect. Let's go on, Bryce.
Let's just go into what it was like when you got sober, what it's been like living in Colorado.
So, when I got clean and sober, there were not a lot of treatment options available, and there were a few around the country, but I didn't know about them. So I went in right into 12-step recovery and got a sponsor through that program, and actually had a beautiful long-term relationship with her until she passed away. And that was really the foundation of my journey. I did some therapy and quite a few years of therapy to support my journey. And then I explored other parts of my life, such as, spiritual community. Had always been very physically healthy and just did a lot of fun things with biking and hiking here in Colorado and all the wonderful things we have to offer. I'm a pretty good kayaker. And, really built a foundation before my husband and I got married and started our family. I'm very grateful for that I was able to have kids clean and sober. So 12-step back then was about all that was around. And as I have lived in Denver and watched the recovery movement, I'm so excited today in 2017 to look and see where we're at now as a community. We just have a thriving recovery community here. In my role working for a treatment facility in community outreach, I have the blessing of really getting to observe and be connected really statewide with everything that's going on for people in all levels of recovery. We have mental health now, and a lot of people with addiction now also have mental health challenges, and we're all one big community. It's really a beautiful thing.
That was great.
Yep. So let's talk about the different, AA then. What do we have now? What all do we have now? Like the different pathways.
Yeah, so about, I don't know, early 90s when William White nationally started writing his white papers and started educating people that worked in the field around what is recovery and what does it look like. And he and some really, really wonderful people nationally banded together and started Faces and Voices of Recovery in DC. And in Denver, we were blessed to have one of the original founders and board members who's still here in Denver. His name's Merlin Karst, and he just became a champion of recovery advocacy citywide and statewide, and his involvement led to a local organization starting called Advocates for Recovery. I believe, I don't know my years for sure, but it seems like they've been around 12 to 15 years around that time period. Tanya Wheeler was the original executive director, and she's still around and working for Advocates for Recovery. Phoenix Multisport, another recovery community organization, started here first and built a sober active community, and now they're expanding nationwide. I was lucky enough to know Scott Strode and both Ben Court when they opened Phoenix Multisport. Boulder climbers that just got into recovery and knew that their sobriety and their recovery health would have physical fitness involved with it, and they built Phoenix Multisport to be this nationally recognized thought leader really in the world of recovery and exercise, and building community through that vehicle. So now the Denver area has some different people that have kind of offshot from some of these organizations that have become passionate on building recovery coaching throughout our community. And where I work, we do recovery coaching. We've incorporated the CeDAR model from Connecticut. So shout out to the Connecticut folks who built the CeDAR curriculum for recovery coaches and all the modules that come with that. Those are have been introduced to the community here in Denver, and there's just recovery coach trainings going on, and we're building our continuum of care, as I know you believe in. That we all have a part in this journey, and it takes a village to support people on the recovery path. And that's what wasn't around when I was first got into recovery. There weren't as many options available for me to get support in other areas besides the rooms. And not to discount my foundation, it's a beautiful part of my journey. I've been to the international convention for my 12-step community, and it was a beautiful experience, and I wouldn't be here without it today. What I see now for people that are just starting recovery, they have choices. They've got experts now that are trained in trauma. Back when I got clean and sober, trauma was not in the forefront of the healing modalities around. There weren't clinicians that were really looking for that in somebody's history. Brain chemistry, just how the brain works. We know so much more now than we did years ago. And so the medical profession, the recovery community profession, the clinicians, and all these wonderful, smart people that we have around us have really elevated and expanded the whole recovery movement. And I just see it thriving in our Denver community here. And of course, around the state, we've got great thought leaders in other communities here in Colorado.
Awesome. That's perfect.
I want to talk about whole health, not just abstinence.
Okay.
Because this is like one of your specialties. I've heard you talk about it before.
Okay. Well, so when I first got into recovery, I went to my recovery meetings, and I had a therapist, and I worked on, I went to the gym, and I actually had a period of time where I kind of searched for the right spiritual community, because I really felt like I wanted to find a community that really talked about spirituality and God in another way. I had my foundation in my 12-step journey, but I also craved more. And so I know now that what I was looking at was to build my recovery capital. We didn't use that term back when I got into recovery, but now I understand that we're not just our addiction, and we're not just our recovery program. We're a whole person. We have a life with children and maybe no children, but we have family, we have social, we have our mental health. I've done some trauma therapy later in life that I didn't realize that I needed to do when I got into early recovery. And so for me, my balancing all of that and really understanding that my recovery journey, I'm very passionate about giving back to others and being of service. There's nothing that brings me more joy than helping a fellow person. But over the years, I have learned that I can't do that and show up as a whole person if my tank's low. If I haven't been taking good care of myself, if I haven't been eating well, if I haven't been exercising, if I've been putting other people's needs ahead of my own. And so learning that delicate dance of stepping back and really getting to know myself and understanding that, for this particular day, I'm going to have to say no to something because I'm really feeling depleted and my energy level's low, that it's okay, and that's probably been one of my biggest lessons is understanding when I heard that, it's a selfish program and that we do at times have to act in a selfish manner to take care of ourselves. or to take, that we sometimes have to act in a selfish manner to really take good care of ourselves before we can show up and really be present for another human being that might need help.
Awesome.
Was that enough, whole health?
Uh,
Because I was kind of like, I just went from my gut on
No, I think it was
topics.
good. I think you shared your experiences and it kind of flowed well.
I got to be, don't let it look like I'm bashing AA in any way, or 12-step.
no, you're not.
Good.
That's just one part of my recovery. That's just one part.
Vitamins and,
You can even just like do a pitch for. I mean, right now, like it's everything. You know, health is like physical. It's mental. You got to take your vitamins. You got to go to therapy. I mean, you don't have to do that.
you
but
got to take a nap once in a while.
go fly a kite. You know what I mean?
You know,
Whatever.
my or ACA stuff, my family of origin stuff, you know, took me a long time to get a handle on all that. And I'm still working on it.
So let's. I also want a thing where you like promote the summer of 2017.
Okay, what
There's
we
a
have
lot
coming.
of stuff
What we
going
have
on.
coming.
Yeah.
Okay, just ask me.
Okay. So what is happening in the recovery community in Colorado in 2017?
Oh, I could not be more excited for what the recovery community is doing this year. As I was saying, we have so many people that have become passionate about giving back to this community here in Denver and Colorado. There's things going on around the state. In June, on June 17th and 18th, we have raised money, and many of the programs in Denver and Colorado have pulled together resources to support Pride Fest this year. We heard that a lot of the Pride Fest is a lot of drinking and partying, and we decided that we wanted to stand up for people in recovery and give them something fun to do. So this collaboration of all these Colorado wonderful treatment providers and resources, thanks for all the money, we are doing a sober dance at Phoenix Multisport with Chi Chi LaRue. So we have this phenomenal DJ that's going to be there, and I just can't wait. It's going to be phenomenal on Saturday night. And then other than, you know, like some programs that we have, like the Colorado Association of Addiction Professionals, and the educational components that they provide for our community and all the treatment providers and therapists that work in our community, that's a really great event for them coming in June. I'll fast forward a little bit to September, where we are doing, for September Recovery Month this year for 2017, there's a bunch of events going on starting on Thursday night, June 15th, and CeDAR's hosting actually Rob Lowe, and he's going to come and tell his story for a development event that CeDAR is sponsoring. And then on Friday, we are having our second annual Recovery Film Festival. It's called the Real Recovery Film Festival. It's going to be at the C Film Center, and we have 2 days of films that cover all different aspects of the recovery process, from addiction to treatment to the recovery process. And we have educational panels, and we're really trying to select films that have a broad reach with mental health, trauma, different types of addictions. There's a mix of documentaries and feature films, and it's just going to be a great event. Surrounded by Recovery, Saturday morning, September, I may have my dates wrong. Surrounded by Recovery, so 15, I gotta look.
Just
It's,
2 months. You don't have to go.
okay, go September. So Surrounded by Recovery in September is an event at the Capitol. You were there last year, right? So remember how much fun that was? So this year we've got live musicians. We're trying to get Hornbuckle to play. I needed to talk to you about that. But we have Matt Butler, who is he's a musician from New York who wrote a song called Just One. That was our theme song last year. He's coming to play it live for us this year. And then Sheila Ray Charles's daughter, who is a wonderful musician who came last year, is going to come again this year and play. So we're going to have a lot of music. We'll have some speakers. And really, at that event, trying to show that recovery is live and well and real, and there's a whole bunch of us thriving, and there's help for everybody. We just have to ask. And that, we have an opiate epidemic in our state. Last year, 872 people died of an overdose. And we haven't gotten the numbers for this year yet, but we're hearing they're up, and they're up close to 950. So we want to bring awareness that addiction can be death and can mean death for people and families. And, if we can just get one more person into recovery with this type of education and fun activity and community, it's all about community and building community around us and feeling like
Start
we're
back
not.
with it's all about community.
So,
okay, Jeff?
really Surrounded is about community and fellowship and just a representation that we don't have to do this alone, that there's a lot of people on this journey, and we just kind of need to find our tribe. Find just, for me, it was just 3 or 4 good friends in the beginning, and they changed my life forever. I hung on to them. They all had a little bit more recovery than I did, and I just hung on, and we had lots of time together, and we were going through things together. And I look back on that, and that's what kept me hanging in there one day at a time. So Denver's thriving, Colorado's thriving. We have a recovery community here that is art, there's film, there's creative energy everywhere, and we're trying to draw it out and bring these people music. We're trying to find everybody that has gifts and bring them all together to share their gifts and help them find a friend or two that'll support them on this journey so they don't have to do it alone.
It's good stuff, dude.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
You got good meat right there.
I got good meat.
You got the meat of it right there, buddy. Let's wrap it up. Any way you want to wrap it up? Anything that you want to close with her with? I want to make sure that we have enough time to do your little spiel too.
Is there anything you want to get?
Is
You
there
want to
anything
look at
that
your
you
notes?
missed that you feel like?
Did I stumble over dates or anything too much? Or you think you can kind of
No,
edit
I
that
can
out?
Totally edit
I
that
gotta
out.
feed my meter. Look
You
at
could
your
even
notes.
put up, the dates. I don't know if you can put it up,
I
but
can totally do that with this.
and I don't know if you want this to be more, maybe you don't want specific